Okay, so we are going to start off with these OnShape beginner parts. We're going to look at number 1. I'm going to do number 1 with you guys, and then you will do the rest on your own. Do make sure that at the end, you check your answer, that you're getting the same information as the answer. So we'll talk about that. So here's our piece. And I'm going to do the additive model first, and then I'll also show you how the subtractive model would work. I prefer the additive model. Now, what we want to pick is we want to pick which side do we want to start from. So the front side would be kind of this side right here. That's the very front of the object that we could see. The top side would be the very top, would just be that rectangle. And the right side would just be this little tiny rectangle. It's whatever's closest to you. So the easiest to me definitely looks like the front side. Right, so remember, that's our front side. Here's our top side. And then our right side is over here, right? Those guys. So I'm going to start from the top, and I'm going to pick this bottom left corner to start off with. So if we pick that bottom right corner, you're kind of going to just follow the line. So it goes up by 1.50, then it goes over, then it goes up by 1, then it goes over by 2, then it goes down, then it goes over by 1, right? The 1 is back there. And it goes down, it goes over by just 0.50, up by 0.50. You should be able to see that that's up by 0.50. Then over, down, and over again by 0.50, and then that entire thing is 4. So I'm going to show you this, and you can do math. You can kind of figure it out. You could say like, oh, this whole thing's 4, this part's 2, this part's 1, so like 4 minus 1 minus 2, that part has to be 3. But I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to put in only the dimensions that they're given. I'll show you how that works. So again, we should have made a new folder called OnShape Beginner Parts. I'm going to go to create a document, and we'll call this Beginner Part 1. And so I'm going to start a sketch on the front plane. Same thing, right click, 2-finger tap, view normal to sketch plane. And then I'm going to start off in that origin. And we're just going to follow what that document tells us. So that first line, right, was this up by 1.50. So I'm going to go up, click anywhere, and then do 1.50. Don't worry about getting it exactly to 1.50. And next, it went over. This is going to be straight left and right, because we're in isometric view. Now, it didn't tell me that. Again, if you wanted to do the math, you can. But it didn't tell me, so I'm just going to make it anything right now. Okay, and see how if I don't put anything in, it's still asking me, but I can still keep going. So I'm going to just keep going. Don't press enter. Okay. Now the next line is up by 1. I'm just going to go up by 1. What should happen is that this is blue. The reason that's blue is I never defined how long this highlighted yellow piece was, and that's okay. We're going to do it later. It's going to figure it out for us. So next we go over by 2. So I'm going to go over again. You don't have to get exactly to it. It could be anything. When you type in 2, then it'll change it for us. Then we're going to go down. This should be down by 1, but you should see this dashed yellow line. Right, so I'm getting this dashed yellow line. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit for us. So that dashed yellow line is showing us that it needs to be, kind of, parallel to that line, or on that same line, on that same axis. Right, and so you don't really need to type in 1. It's going to force it to be 1. I can't even type anything. And then next, we're going to go over again, and that's by 1. So we're going to go over by 1. And then we're going to go down, and looks like my video is getting in the way. But when we go down, again, you don't have to put in 1.5. We should get that yellow line again. We should get that yellow line. And we're going to go over. The next one is over by just 0.50. Okay, again, my video is getting in the way. We're going to go over and we're going to type in 0.50. Okay, it's not going to show my videos in the way. But we'll go over by 0.50 and we'll hit enter. And we're going to go up by 0.50. So make sure the over was by 0.50 and then the up was by 0.50. Now we're going to go over. It doesn't tell us how much this is. If you did math like 4 minus 0.50 minus 0.50, you could figure it's 3. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go over by whatever. The only thing you need to make sure is don't go over where you have a dashed yellow line. We don't want it there. We want it past it. Just go over by whatever. Then come down. You should get the yellow line here at 0.50. Go over. Now this one, we're going to make 0.50. And the only thing that we haven't added yet is this entire 4. So the 4 is from the very left to the very right. So we're going to add another 4. That's why I still have some blue lines. So we're going to go to that dimensioning tool, and we're going to go from the very left to the very right. I'll show that one more time. Okay, so I'm going to click our dimensioning tool, those arrows. I'll click on the very left and on my very right, and that's going to tell me how far is it between those two. And that needed to be 4. When I hit that, everything will turn black because it's all been defined. Now, if you had really wanted to, you could have done some math, right? And you could have done some math and kind of gone up 1.5, done your math and realized that 4 minus 2 minus 1 was 1. You can go into the right one, kept going up. And then this one, you could have done math and made it 3. And then you wouldn't have needed to put the 4 at the end. But I like to just follow the pictures and add everything that the picture has, because then I know I'm going to be building it correctly. So I'm going to hit the check mark for my sketch. I'm done with that. Right click the cube, and I'm going to press isometric. So now I'm in this isometric view, and we want to extrude it. And the depth of this is going to be going this forwards and backwards. So the depth is that number 2.50. Oh, one thing to note, this was all units in inches. So at the very beginning of your document, make sure you check your workspace inches. I forgot to do that. The default should be inches, so we're fine. But on some of the other questions, like number 2 or 3, I forget which one, it's in millimeters. So when you get to that question at the very, very beginning, make sure you change your units over to the proper units. Okay. So now we're going to hit the extrude. We're going to click on our piece, and we're going to extrude it by 2.50. It doesn't matter if you go forwards or backwards. That shouldn't really change anything. But 2.50, that would be forwards or backwards. Either way is fine. I'm going to come forwards. So there's our object. Now, it's not finished, right? Because we're missing this little cutout. Okay, so where would we start that cutout? Where would we start that cutout? Well, it looks like it's on the very right side. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a sketch, and we can sketch on any one of these surfaces. So we want to sketch on this bottom right side. So we're going to sketch there. Then we want to right-click that and press View Normal to that sketch plane. So now we're looking right at it. Now we're still going to see the top. You don't need to do this, but I just kind of want to show you this. Is we are angled, right? So that this is further back, but if we're looking dead on, right, when we did that View Normal to, when we're looking dead on, we're going to see them both, and that's okay. So if you want to zoom in proper, just hit the right button. It'll zoom us like that. So this is further back. We just want to make sure we're aware of that. So we're going to make a sketch, and this was, if we're looking from the right side, this is a rectangle. This rectangle is 1.50 wide. It's 0.25 tall. So we're going to make that. So we're just anywhere on here, we're going to make a rectangle, right? 1.50 wide. Enter. 0.25 tall. Hit enter. Now we have a rectangle. Now, if I hit escape, everything's still blue. The reason it's still blue is the same thing from yesterday. When we're adding new features, we need to do 2 things always: size and dimension. Okay, again, 2 things always: size and dimension whenever we're adding in new features. So we did do its size. It was 1.50 and 0.25, but I haven't done its location. I don't know where to place this rectangle. And it's not good enough to just kind of move it and be like, oh, it looks like it's right there. That's wrong. Okay, you're always going to get it wrong if you do that. What you need to do is you need to look at, okay, from the top to this top corner, it was 0.75 away. And from the left side to the left side, it was 0.50 away. So we need to add those dimensions in. So we click on our dimension arrow, and we start from the top. So it's going to top that middle part. We get 0.75 away. And then from the left side to the left side, we had was 0.5. Once we have those two, right now, 0.50 away, 0.50 away. I looked wrong. So if you did that 0.25, just double click it. It was supposed to be 0.50. There we go. So now that's exactly where it should be dimensioned. And this is actually not in the very center. Okay, this is not totally centered. So we're gonna, but that's okay, that's what they asked for. So we'll hit the check mark, right click our cube, isometric, and then we're gonna extrude. And on this one, we're not cutting material, we're not removing. Right? If we removed it, it would cut in, but we're adding out. We're coming out, we're adding in more material. And so it looks like it comes out is this distance at 0.75. So it comes out by 0.75. So we need to change number 1, 0.75. We can enter, check mark, and there's our piece. So now we're finished with it. But what we need to do is we need to, basically at the end, now it's just a drawing. If we wanted to manufacture this, we would then need to go in and assign a material. Is it going to be made out of wood? Is it going to be made out of plastic? Is it going to be made out of whatever kind of material? So if we right click part 1, we can go ahead and click assign material. So we're going to assign material. And then the OnShape library has a lot of different ones. So if you kind of click this, add. You may have to do this. It's a little bit weird. Oh, okay. No, that's my fault. Okay, we're using the OnShape material library. So you can add other ones. So we're going to click none. Okay, I always forget this part. So we're going to click none. And for this part, the instructions said they wanted brass. So we can either scroll down to it or we can just type in brass. We just want regular brass. And then we'll hit the check mark. Now it's made out of brass. Okay, one fun thing that you can do if you want to do something a little bit fun with this, you can also right click it and you can press edit appearance. You can change your color. So if you want to make it purple, you can make it purple. You can give it whatever color you want. I'm going to make mine this blue color over here. Actually, I think it was blue. Let's be fun. We'll make mine purple. And you can also do the mixer and really choose anything, which is kind of neat. I believe you can also, I'll have to look into it, but I think we can also pick colors for different sides later on. But for right now, we'll just say I want the whole part to be purple, and then I'll hit the check mark. So now this part is purple. Okay, so that's optional. You can change the color, but what I do need you to do is click on the part, and then in the bottom right hand, there's this little, it kind of looks like a scale, like one of those old scales. It says display mass properties. You're going to click on that guy. Okay, and then this is going to tell us what the mass of this object is, what the volume is, and what the surface area is. And so that's what I said. Make sure that you go back to the instructions and check that you got the right answers. Right, so in this case, we did get our right answers. That's perfect. You're now going to take a screenshot and upload the screenshot to the Google Classroom assignment. Make sure that the following is visible. I want to be able to see your part, right? So this shouldn't be covering up the part. If it is, just move it to the side. I want to see your part. It should be an isometric view. So before you change your screenshot, if you're not, right-click the cube and click wherever it is in isometric. Okay. In my case, isometric didn't show up because I'm already in it. Okay. So I'm already in isometric, so we're good. So the display mass properties is there. We can see the part. And then the other thing that needs to be in your screenshot is your name. It's very important for me to see your name here. So for taking a screenshot, there are 2 ways to do it if you're on a Chromebook. Right? You can press Control and then the Show Windows key should look like that. And then I'll just take the screenshot of everything. You can also hold down Shift. And if you hold down Shift, then it'll let you select the area you want to take it of. But make sure your name's in it and all of this info's in it. Okay, and then what should happen is that should end up being in your downloads folder. So if you go to the bottom and you look for where it says files, it should be in your downloads folder, and then you can upload that to the classroom. Okay. So that's how we'll do that. You could do this with the subtractive model as well. I'm not going to go through that, but on the subtractive model, what you could have done is you could have made one really big box around everything to start. And then you could have cut out like the top left square, the top right square, and this bottom rectangle. And I guess I can show that really quickly. It won't take long. So what we would do here is, you don't have to do this. We already made ours. But just so you could see it, this sketch, front view. So the only hard part about the subtractive models, you do have to kind of get the overall dimensions. So for overall height, it would be adding 1.50 into 2.50, and then the width they gave us was 4. So for 1.50 and 1 width, so the overall height would be 2.50. You just start off with a box. Okay. Then we're going to extrude our box. And it went 2.50 was the extrusion. I'm just looking at the file. So then what we would do is we would make a sketch in the front of our box. And you don't have to do it this way, but just to show you. And so we want to kind of cut out that little square there. That's a 1 by 1 square. That's another 1 by 1 square. And that's going to be 3 across and 0.50 up and down. So if I start on a corner, I've already determined the location. One, and so it'll turn black. Because I started on a corner, I've told it what location I want it to be at. But for this one, I'm not telling it the location. I'm telling it the bottom, it's on the bottom. So this is 3 across and 0.50. So I did tell it on the bottom, but I didn't tell it how far left and right it is. So I do need to go into this dimension, and I need to say from the right side to the right side, it was 0.50. It kind of looks like a happy face. Finish. We'll go to our isometric view. And now when we extrude, we're going to actually pick all 3 of those rectangles. Now it really looks like a happy face. But instead of adding, we want to remove them. Okay. And we want to remove them not by 1 inch, but all the way through. Okay, so we have that. Once we have that, then we would do the same process where we go here, we right-click it, view to the normal plane, and we add in that rectangle. Okay, I won't show that part because we've already done that. But that would be the subtractive model for how you could do the same part a different way. So in OnShape and CAD, there are usually tons and tons of different ways to get to this final answer, but you just need to make sure. That's why we want to go in and check our mass properties, and then we need to make sure that we've clicked part 1, right? If you don't click part 1, if you only press mass properties, this will show up blank if you haven't actually clicked on part 1, right? So like that. So make sure you've clicked part 1. Now it's giving us the correct answer. Okay, good luck with this. Let me know what help we need, and we'll get at it. So there are 4 or 5 of these parts. That's what we're going to be working on today in class, Thursday, and tomorrow for our asynchronous day.